So what I want to talk about is your training. I'm sure the listeners are curious. What did that look like? So let's take your 4-day split. That's kind of what you started with, right? Were you just combining two body parts per session kind of thing?
Yeah, that type of thing. And I did a lot of double sessions, which I
Mm,
normally don't do. So I was in the gym twice a day a lot, not all the time, but actually, even at work at lunch, I'd take the opportunity rather than just sitting outside or whatever to go down to the gym. There was enough there to get by, to at least do half a workout. So day one might be chest and back, and then shoulders or like shoulders, abs, calves, that type of thing. Then arms, then legs. Probably 50% of the time it was 2 sessions a day when I
okay.
could.
And would you just
Yeah.
take your leg workout and split it into two kind of thing? Or would you do like legs in the morning, or where would it depend
Oh
on
yeah,
like,
legs I just do all together. Just get it over and done with. Arms I do biceps at work, triceps at night, or chest at lunch, back at night, that type of thing.
would you take that out of Joel's handbook, or was that just you're like, it's time to maybe give into this a little bit? Because I know last time we spoke, you weren't that keen on that, right?
Yeah, but I had to just sit myself down and say, like, this is the time to make it happen. Just have to commit to it. And I did find the time a lot of the time. It was really hard because I guess if you're not used to it, getting up in the morning, doing cardio, gym at lunch, home, straight to the gym, cardio after, cooking, eating, cleaning, all that. There
Yes.
was no time for anything else. So
Do you have kids?
no, but right after we got back from Europe, my wife Cherie fell pregnant. So,
Oh.
which was great. She's like ready to pop right now.
Oh, wow. So you're about to have a
Yeah,
kid.
yeah, about to have our first. Just got car seats installed today, so it's
Wow. Congratulations,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you. Thank you. It's feeling pretty real. And the benefit of the timing was that she'd get home from work absolutely exhausted. She'd sleep from like 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. the next morning. And it meant that I could fit in a lot that afternoon. Not great for
Yes.
her having morning sickness for 3 months straight, but it made it easier. After a couple of months, she said to me one day, "This prep's been really good. It hasn't taken up much of your time. You haven't been moody, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, I've literally been at the gym for 2 hours, 3 hours every day. You've just been asleep and haven't noticed. So it was a blessing for me.
Right, right. That's will be interesting once you have the baby, how things might change, or how you might have to alter, or maybe not. Maybe you're gonna be like a soldier and do exactly what you're doing now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I should be a present dad for a bit. I'm really excited. Like that was half the reason I did everything possible this last competition, this last prep. I didn't want to finish and go, oh, I could have done more cardio, or I could have been at the gym more, or I could have eaten less. Maybe I shouldn't have had a cheat meal here and there because of the pregnancy. It's only going to get harder to do it again.
Are you worried about falling victim to the dad bod?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I don't think it's gonna happen, but that's just a prediction.
I wouldn't let myself get dad bod. I might have to sacrifice a bit of gym for the time being and run instead or do
Yes.
that type of thing. I'll still try and maintain my size or as much of it as possible. But in a way, I'm kind of looking forward to it because it's nice not forcing myself to eat as much off season. And I'm kind of enjoying going for a run. You're outdoors a lot more. You're buggered after 30, 40 minutes. It's over and done with. You feel pretty good after it. You can stay leaner year round. So lean dad bod, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. Joel has kids and he seems to be getting on quite
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, he has a 5-year-old daughter.
Yeah. You got the right people around you to make sure you stay on track, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're really guilt tripping me before I even have a kid.
Yeah. Well, more trying
Yeah.
to keep you inspired to keep on going. I know from what I've heard with a lot of the guys I've also spoke to with fatherhood, of course, it can be quite difficult at the beginning, but not to the point where, yeah, things fall off completely.
I don't think it's impossible. It'll be manageable for sure.
I wonder how Joel, I didn't get a chance to ask him this. Maybe you know this though, but when his wife was first pregnant and of course the first like year of being a parent, like was he training frequently at that point or did he have to really trim it down at the beginning?
I think it was trimmed down like just before and for a little bit after. I think it was trimmed down pretty heavily from
Yeah.
memory. A fair bit of fast food and lack of training.
Wow. Okay.
It's like it never got that bad. It was a big adjustment, which is completely fair, but it didn't take him long to bounce back once they kind
Right.
of got into the swing of things. I'm pretty sure it was not long after Millie was born, we went to America with Artemis and he was obviously in
Oh,
good shape then. So
yeah, it's just a small phase, and then you kind of get sick of the current state you're in fitness wise, and then you
Yeah.
get right back on track, right? From what you're used
Yeah.
to, right? Like for some people, 3 days or 2 days, that's like their regular routine. And then for you guys, it's like unbearable, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'd happily, like, if I can be at the gym 2, 3 times a week for a while, that's fine. I'm completely fine with that. And if anything, it's a good chance for your body to rest.
That's
Like, you
true.
usually feel great after a few months of not training or not training much.
You know, it's interesting. And I know this is like the enhanced side of bodybuilding, but are you familiar with like Kevin Levrone?
Yeah.
Yeah. So since he's more so just after the golden era, like in the 80s, I think he was competing, right? Like 80s, 90s.
Yeah. 80s,
90s, I
90s, yeah.
think. Yeah, 90s, I think more. But he would like take like months off after. Are you familiar with this as well? Like he would like take months off after competition, and like that was like a thing
Yeah,
he was
even
pretty popular for.
yeah, and I think also I didn't know he did actually, but I can't believe I've forgotten the name. Mr. Olympia in '08.
Mr. Olympia
In 2008. Sorry to put you
in
on the
2000
spot.
2008. Is that Dexter
See how
Jackson?
good you are. Yes, Dexter Jackson. I'm pretty sure he
Okay.
would take a full month off at least straight after the Olympia.
Full month. Okay. Yes. Right. I know with Kevin it was longer though. Like from
Oh
I don't
wow,
know yeah, it was like from completely like no training, nothing. And his physique
it's
would
pretty wild.
deflate. Yeah, it would just deflate completely. And then when he started training again, it would just like he would like train for 6 months and then like get ready for the Olympia or something. I don't know if those are the
Yeah,
exact numbers. Don't quote me if you're tuning in. Don't quote me on that, but it's something ridiculous like that from what I've
yeah.
read. And I
I
don't know
might
how
I
accurate.
might have got mine wrong as well. But speaking of, I remember years ago, Joel, he would have watched a Kevin Levrone video, and Kevin would have spoken about growing into a competition. And I remember in our one of our first comps, Joel told me that he was going to do the same because he was, wildly unprepared. He'd been procrastinating for so long, very optimistic about what he could do in a couple of months. And I just remember thinking, you are so delusional and ambitious. And Kevin would have been on God knows how many performance enhancers. It was quite funny to sit back and watch.
So that's funny how you knew that already.
Well, yeah,
Well,
it's like it's a different ball game. You've got to give him credit. It's a good mindset to have to think it's achievable.
that's
But
what I was just gonna say. Well, also it's every natural bodybuilder's dream at one point was to grow into a competent,
yeah,
get leaner and more muscular at the exact same time, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
So yeah, that's the dream, obviously. But naturally, without the enhancers, right? Like you said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So let's go back now with your training for a second here. So that was the 4 day. Then you transitioned to the 5 day. What was the
Uh,
reason?
3 day,
Oh, the
three
three
day.
day. Okay, okay, gotcha. So to the 3 day, and the main reason for that was to hit body parts more frequently at that point.
Yeah, and just expend more energy.
And was that the chest and back day one, legs day two, shoulders and arms day three, or something of that nature?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
That's a popular one.
what I actually did was chest and back, shoulders, arms, legs, chest and back, shoulders, arms, skip legs, and then go straight to chest and back. I only did it once per double rotation. I'm blessed with stumpy legs, so I didn't want them to get any wider. And I was doing enough cardio to kind of keep them leaner. And I just wanted to kind of maintain the size, if not. Like I was quite happy to lose a bit of width on my legs. Like some people give me crap because they think they should be bigger, but I just don't like, I get it. I get people that like that look, but I just don't. My legs are too short. My upper body's going to look better if my legs are a bit leaner.
And I think that's more of the golden era, for certainly the silver era. That was more of the style. Yeah, I think it's a cool look. Like if you've even looked at Arnold, like he didn't have the most massive legs, but his physique was, I think it was
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
For
Yeah.
whatever my opinion's worth, obviously, I think the majority of people thought that, right? That's why he was Mr. Olympia 7 times, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So versus like Tom Platz, right, where his legs were absolutely humongous, known for his
And so
legs, but
impressive,
very
like ridiculously impressive, but also took away from
the
the upper
upper.
body. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing that, yeah, I guess it's a personal thing too, to an extent. I guess he really liked that look, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
And
yeah.
it's a good way to differentiate himself.
True. I remember reading or not watching an interview. I think Frank Zane was saying like you should use that as your claim to fame, was like your legs. And then he did. He started doing seminars, squat seminars and all that stuff. And that's how he made a living.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's right. I mean, good on him. It's absolutely outrageous what he achieved.
Right. Without even being Mr. Olympia. Imagine that. What one of the most popular bodybuilders because of that, without even having to win a Mr.
Yeah.
Olympia title.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Like from
Mhm.
that regard, from a business standpoint?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You've just got to be, mixing it with the top guys, and I think you can create your own opportunities.
Yes. So with your drop sets and supersets, again, another way to just expend energy. Was that the goal there?
Yeah, purely just to expend more energy, make it harder, less rest time.
Were you repeating like the exact same workouts? For example, you did chest and back and then you skipped the legs, repeated chest and back on like a Thursday or whatever it was, right? Monday, maybe
Yeah,
Thursday.
yeah,
Was it the
yeah.
exact same exercises or did you switch up the
No,
exercises?
always switched up.
Did you just go based on like what you felt like doing that day from a selection standpoint, or
Yeah,
did you
whatever
have?
machine was free.
Oh,
It's the,
cool.
the same structure all the time. Like for chest, I'll always do like a flat version, incline, decline or dip, flies, and just do a different variation, whether it's cables or free weight, whatever. Same with back, I'll do 3 pull down, 3 row. I don't really care what specific exercise it is, if it's pull ups or pull downs or reverse grip, blah, blah, blah.
Do you have an idea of like the weights that you used like maybe a previous time, or you don't even care about that? You'll just go on the day, how heavy it feels, what you think you can get a good stimulus.
I mean, it doesn't take long to gauge a rough idea of what weight you typically do, and you can gauge it on the day with a warm up. And then I just make sure that my last couple of sets I was failing, like absolute failure.
The last time we spoke, you were saying you didn't really care if you trimmed it down a few kilos. Like say you're doing an exercise for 10 reps. You don't care if the next workout maybe you trim down the weight, but then you might do more reps as long as you hit failure is the kind of the main thing you're striving for in a workout.
Yeah, that's right. I was watching a guy today and I see him every day in the gym, and he writes down his workout as he goes, how many reps and weight he does. I don't really have an issue with it, but I also think like it shouldn't matter what you did last time, as long as you shouldn't leave any reps in the gym. You should be going to failure regardless. So who cares, or if you fail on 13 reps?
I think that it takes quite a bit of, maybe it's open-mindedness. People are drawn to what makes them feel comfortable. Like they want to know, I did this last time and I need to know that I did this much more this time with this exact weight. Very analytical, right? So, I mean, I guess it suits their personality to a degree, right?
I mean, it's whatever keeps you motivated and whatever suits.
Yeah, I like that. That's probably more accurate to say, because otherwise you're not going to go to the gym if you're not motivated to do whatever the approach is, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be tricky. I went to the gym with my dad recently. He wanted me to check his form and everything, and he flogs himself in the gym. He will happily do a full body workout and then go back the next day and do the exact same routine. And I tried so hard to convince him that it's better to give your body a bit of a rest and split up the muscle a little bit, but he can't quite detach from the idea of constantly upping the weight or the reps every single day.
Oh, wow.
And
full body at that.
Baffled. Yeah, it took some convincing. Like he was surprised that I don't do that, but you'd only have to be in the gym for a year and you should be bicep curling 1,000 pounds if you're going up, 2% or whatever each workout. Yeah. Cumulative weight increase would be outrageous if you were trying to do that every single workout.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, there is a shelf life, and shelf life in terms of the amount of loads you can lift. Do you think your physique would look like extraordinarily different if you were doing the 50 kgs or 55 kg dumbbells? Like,
no, because I wouldn't be going down as far and I wouldn't be contracting as hard. Even then, I was doing 45 and I might have got like 6 out. I know that if I did 42s or 40, I would have had a really enjoyable 8 or 10. And I could go to maybe 50 kilos if I really wanted to, but they'd be a dodgy 1 or 2 reps. And I know that I could, but it would be my rest periods are so long and my form would be sacrificed to a degree. Maybe I'm wrong.
No. You know what? It's just interesting to get the thoughts on it because, of course, we're going off of opinion now, unless you run the experiment and take the measurements.
In a way, people have done the experiment for us, right? Like powerlifters, they might dumbbell press 80 kilo dumbbells. Their physique isn't great.
That's a good point.
Unless you like looking like a rotund apple.
All right. That's funny. Cool.
Yeah.
So,
like,
you know
what I mean? It's
yeah.
Like in order to lift that weight, they have to put on a lot of size, and that size will be partly muscle and it will be a lot of fat.
No, that's great stuff here, man. That's good for the listeners to think about. The ones who like to chase the logbook, there's something to that, I think, for them. Sometimes that could lead to more issues down the road from a injury standpoint as well.
Yeah, like imagine doing bent over row and thinking well, I did, you know, a 100 kilo bar last workout. My back feels a little bit tough, but I guess I have to do 105 kilos. And you pinch something because you shouldn't have lifted that much, you know, I think it's pretty detrimental.
Now, I teach their own though, but just some things for people to think about, I think could be valuable, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the documentary took up so much of our time. When I pitched it to our videographer and Joel, it was meant to be like a 20-minute YouTube video, you know, leading into competitions that we were doing at the end of last year. And it just turned into this beast of a video. Like, it was hard to get in.